Good morning. Today we're going to talk about a name that was all over the news a few years ago, KimDavis. She's the former county clerk from Kentucky who was at the center of the same-sex marriage debate back in 2015. Almost 10 years later, Davis is back. This time she's asking the U.S. Supreme Court to get rid of the big decision called Obergefell v. Hodges, which made same-sex marriage legal across the whole country. Her case isn't just about her own legal issues, it's a direct challenge to whether marriage equality will stay in America. With the Supreme Court leaning more traditional these days, what's at stake is bigger than ever, and the outcome could change the rights of families all over the country. Let's talk about how we got here, what's on the line, and why this fight is far from over. To understand today's battle, we need to go back to 2015. After the Supreme Court's Obergefell decision, KimDavis, as the Rowan County clerk, refused to issue marriage licenses to any couple, gay or straight, citing her religious beliefs. Her refusal sparked lawsuits and national outrage, turning her into a symbol of religious freedom and government discrimination. A federal court ordered her to comply, but Davis stood firm, arguing that signing the licenses would go against her conscience. The standoff became a flashpoint, couples seeking their legal rights versus a public official defying the law for her beliefs. Davis's actions polarized the nation. Her supporters saw her as a hero, her critics as a lawbreaker. The legal battle quickly escalated, with Davis defying court orders and the controversy drawing national attention. The question: can a public official's personal beliefs override the constitutional rights of citizens? This conflict set the stage for a legal fight that would last for years. And it's this fight that brings us to the Supreme Court today. Davis's refusal landed her in jail for contempt of court. 5 days that made her a martyr to some, a symbol of lawlessness to others. While she was locked up, her deputies issued marriage licenses, but the lawsuits kept coming. The couples argued Davis's actions caused them emotional distress and violated their rights. The courts agreed, ordering Davis to pay $100,000 in damages and $260,000 in legal fees, a total of $360,000. Davis's legal team claimed she was being punished for her beliefs, but the courts consistently ruled that personal beliefs can't justify denying constitutional rights. Now, Davis is asking the Supreme Court to erase these judgments and to rethink the very foundation of marriage equality. Her case is no longer just about damages. It's about the future of civil rights in America. The stakes couldn't be higher. In July 2025, Davis's legal team filed a broad petition with the Supreme Court. They weren't just challenging her financial penalties. They were asking the Supreme Court to overturn Obergefell v. Hodges completely. Davis argued that if same-sex marriage isn't a constitutional right, she couldn't possibly have violated anyone's rights. This bold move has grabbed the attention of legal experts and activists all over the country. With a conservative majority on the Supreme Court, some believe there's a real chance the justices could revisit marriage equality. Davis's case is now at the heart of a wider conservative push to roll back LGBTQ+ rights. The Supreme Court refused to hear her case in 2020, but this new petition is more direct and more dangerous to existing law. The future of marriage equality is once again before the nation's highest court. At the heart of the Davis case is a clash between religious freedom and the duty of public officials. Her lawyers argue the First Amendment protects her from being forced to support something against her beliefs. They say she sought a reasonable way around the issue, like taking her name off the license, but was punished instead. Opponents argue that as a government official, Davis swore an oath to uphold the law for everyone, no matter her beliefs. Letting officials pick and choose which laws to follow would hurt equal protection and open the door to unfair treatment. Courts have decided religious beliefs are protected, but not when they are used to deny others their rights. This tension between faith and public duty is what makes this case so important. The Supreme Court now has to decide where to draw the line. Obergefell v. Hodges, decided in 2015, was a big moment for civil rights. The Supreme Court ruled 5-4 that same-sex couples have a right to marry under the Constitution. They pointed to the 14th Amendment, which talks about fair legal processes and equal protection. Justice Kennedy wrote that marriage shows the highest ideals of love and family, and denying it would put down same-sex couples. The decision made all states have to give and recognize marriage licenses for same-sex couples, ending many years of legal fights. Obergefell was based on the idea that some rights are very important, even if they are not clearly written in the Constitution. The ruling changed the lives of American families and set a national standard. Davis's current case says this legal framework was decided wrong and should be taken apart. The Supreme Court now faces a question. Will it keep or undo this important legal decision? Since Obergefell, over 800,000 same-sex couples have gotten married in the U.S., many raising children and building families with newfound legal security. Marriage equality has become a part of American life, giving many families stability and legal standing. Public support for same-sex marriage has grown, reaching a high of 71% in 2023 and staying close to 70% today. But support is dropping among some groups. Republican support has fallen sharply, sparking new political fights. This partisan divide is fueling efforts to challenge marriage equality in courts and in lawmaking. For many, the idea of overturning Obergefell is unthinkable. For others, it's a call to action. The nation is once again debating who gets to define marriage and whose rights are protected. The outcome will affect millions of families and the fabric of American society. The Supreme Court will soon decide whether to hear the Davis case. If they say no, the lower court's decision stays. Davis pays the fine, and marriage equality stays as it is. If they take the case, it could be the most important civil rights fight in years. Overturning Obergefell wouldn't cancel existing marriages, thanks to the Respect for Marriage Act, but it would let states ban new same-sex marriages. This could create a patchwork of laws, where your rights depend on where you live. States could quickly move to restrict marriages, bringing back old bans and creating legal chaos. The stakes are high. Will marriage equality remain a national right, or become a state-by-state battle? The Supreme Court's decision will shape the future of civil rights in America. The KimDavis case is more than just a legal fight. It's a test of American values. It forces us to face the tension between religious freedom and equal protection under the law. The Supreme Court's decision will show whether hard-won rights are safe or likely to be taken away. For many, overturning Obergefell would be a political act, hurting trust in the Supreme Court and threatening the rights of millions. This case reminds us that progress isn't forever. Rights can be challenged and lost. The outcome will either confirm equality or open the door to new divisions and uncertainty. From a small Kentucky courthouse to the highest court in the land, this story is about who we are and who we want to be. The last chapter hasn't been written, but its impact will be felt for generations.